and welcome to my TV show recaps. I do weekly reviews on scripted shows, reality TV, and trending topics. If you're interested, please click the subscribe button, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, all at my TV show recaps. So we're back with the 6th episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, and we see Marlo and Kenya on FaceTime planning an event for Sheree, sort of to cheer her up since Tyrone stood her up in Philadelphia. So this is where both ladies agreed that they're going to have the event at Marlo's house. So for me personally, while they were filming this scene, I sort of had doubts that Kenya was going to show up because I don't think Kenya actually wants to film with Marlo at all. So the next scene we see Sheree back in Atlanta and she's still sort of sad about what Tyrone did to her. It seems like when Tyrone called Sheree, he actually didn't take any responsibility nor did he apologize for standing Sheree up. For me personally, I feel like that's a major red flag, and Sheree really needs to keep that in mind because this is a guy that doesn't even feel remorseful for standing up such a grown woman. She later explains that she does not want to give up on him because of how much time she's invested in the relationship. To me, this is what a lot of women do, and it seems like a mistake because a lot of women go through what Sheree is going through, and they always sort of say that they don't want to give up on the relationship because they've invested so much time sort of loving this person. And for me personally, I just feel like if someone has done you wrong once, they're gonna do it again. So you need to leave while you can. So next we see Kenya and Drew meeting up, and Kenya actually says that she wishes that she had this relationship with Drew last season. In my mind, I was just like, the reason Kenya did not have this sort of friendly relationship with Drew last season is because Drew was up Portia's butt the whole time. So then we see Drew sort of talking to Kenya about Sonia and saying that Sonia doesn't have her own mind, especially after what happened in New York. She then goes on to say that Sonia is having an event and that Sonia actually sent her an invite for the event, but then Sonia later retracted that invite. To me, I'm not sure what is going on between Sonia and Drew. It seems like Sonia knows that Drew is fake and that Drew is an actress, and she's not willing to play along to help facilitate Drew's storylines. So next we have Sonia at her event. So it's called Mommy Nation. It's a blog helping mothers, I guess, be mothers. I don't know, but all I can say is at least the name is better than Not for Lazy Moms. So we see that Candy is the first to arrive at the shoot, and Candy is totally ready to just jump in and help Sonia. Now, Sonia begins to explain that the women are going to actually be posing for her website, but I don't think she explained it clearly to Kenya. Because when Kenya got there, Kenya seemed confused. So she later then explained to both the ladies that they were going to be posing in this Black Friday shoot. And even Candy was confused. Like, why am I being in a Black Friday sale for your website? To me, this was very shady on Sonia's part and a little bit unprofessional, if I have to say. But I think that both ladies didn't want to come off as rude and they just decided to be participants in this photo shoot. So both Kenya and Candy asked Sonia why, the rest of the ladies are not at this photo shoot. So Sonia said that it's because she actually formed more of a bond with Candy and Kenya, which to me was kind of suspicious because those are the most popular women on the show. So for Sonia to say that she formed a bond with both of them and not the rest of the ladies was kind of awkward. I feel like if I was in Sonia's position, even if I wanted to use the popularity of Kenya and Candy, I would at least invite the rest of the women just so it doesn't seem obvious and a little bit thirsty on my part. So this is where I think Kenya decides to tell Sonia that Drew thinks that Sonia doesn't have a mind of her own and that Sonia is a follower. Sonia is a little bit irritated by that statement, you could tell, and it seems like she's gonna have words with Drew the next time they meet. So next we cut to Marlo, and we see that Marlo has turned her house into a Fendi store for Sheree's cheer up surprise party. At first, I was like, are these boosted pieces? But then I see that actually Marlo has a Fendi salesperson in her house that sort of brought all the items as a showcase to Sheree. So as we see Marlo prancing around her house, sort of getting things ready for Sheree's party, we see that Kenya calls her on the phone and sort of says that she is sick and she's not going to be able to make it. Now, to give Kenya the benefit of the doubt, she did look sick on that FaceTime, so I'm not sure if she was lying or not. But another part of me also thinks that she didn't want to film with Marlo because, again, I don't think Kenya likes Marlo. I think that Kenya is never going to forgive Marlo for what Marlo said about her mom. And yeah, Kenya just has that fight that they had 5 years ago at the back of her mind, and I don't think she can be genuine friends with Marlo. I really think that Kenya wants to limit her one-on-one filming time with Marlo. So saying that she was sick would be the perfect excuse to get out of having to sit in a tight quarters with Marlo. So during the call, Kenya tells Marlo that she's going to send Drew over to bring some stuff to help Marlo with the preparations. So Drew stops by Marlo's house with the things, and her and Marlo were actually getting along. I really enjoyed the scene. So Drew drops by Marlo, and then Drew asks Marlo if she was invited to Sonia's event, and Marlo said no, that she wasn't invited. Were you? And that's when Drew told Marlo that she was actually invited and disinvited by Sonia. So this is where Marlo sort of wonders, why weren't they invited? So this is when Marlo cracks the code and actually figures out that it seems as though Sonia invited the women with the most followings on Instagram. Now, when Marlo said this, I was like, oh my god, this is so shady. So we see Sheree in her house, sort of, she doesn't know that Kenya or Marlo has this event planned for her. So there's actually a car waiting outside, and the car is going to pick up Sheree to take her to Marlo's house. Just side note, Sheree is just so beautiful. I think that she is one of the most beautiful housewives on any of the Housewives franchises, and she is actually underrated for that. So Sheree finally arrives, and before Sheree enters, Marlo said that they had to reenact the famous scene from 10 years ago when they were both going back and forth and making faces at each other. This just threw me back to the most interesting times from the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and that was such great nostalgia that I really loved it and I lived for it. So when Sheree finally gets in, Marlo gives her a pep talk saying that she knows that she really loved Tyrone, but she thinks it's time for Sheree to move on and that she can do better. I totally agree with Marlo, and I think that Marlo is the sort of friend that you need in your corner because she's not going to let you just date anyone, and that's what she's trying to tell Sheree. I don't think that Tyrone was a good look for Sheree at the stage that she is in her life. She's an older woman. She needs someone more stable, more reliable. And to be honest, I think someone with a bigger income. I don't know why she would actually try to date someone that was in prison. I don't know. So we finally get the ladies at Sonia's Jamaican cook-off event. Side note, the food looked so good and I was hungry throughout this scene. So once again, we're bringing up Tyrone, and this time Candy's being questioned about why she didn't reach out to Sheree after hearing that she was so publicly embarrassed by Tyrone. Candy just seems really confused as to why her name is being brought up yet again. Marla also tries to throw Kenya under the bus, saying that she was sort of disloyal to Sheree because she couldn't follow through by coming to the event her and um, Kenya had planned for Sheree. This was where Kenya was having none of it because I think that Kenya, again, she's been having this built up tension with Marlo because she really doesn't like Marlo. So Marlo pulls Sheree outside and they begin to talk. So this is where Marlo says that she actually thinks that Sonia is kissing their ass. They, meaning Candy and Kenya. And I hate to agree because I love Sonia so much, but I do think that she comes off as trying to kiss Candy's ass, especially since Candy is the one with the most resources on the cast. Marlo then goes on to drag Candy for dating beneath her tax bracket in reference to Todd. I mean, if these women can talk about Marlo dating old white men all the time, then Marlo can definitely talk about their poor husbands also. Anyways, this is where the episode ends. Tell me what you guys think
If you enjoyed
in
this
the
content,
comments below.
please give it a thumbs up, share, comment below, and subscribe to the channel.